She was the face that launched 1,000 dreams. The woman who could change her look with a single haircut and make the entire fashion world follow. But what happens when the face that defined beauty itself disappears overnight? This is Linda Evangelista. She didn't just model clothes, she became the blueprint for what a supermodel could be, until one day, a simple cosmetic procedure promised to make her even more perfect. Instead, it destroyed everything she had built. For 5 years, she vanished. No red carpets, no magazine covers, no explanations. The woman who once said, "I don't get out of bed for less than $10,000 a day," couldn't even look at herself in the mirror. This isn't just a story about beauty. It's about what happens when that beauty is taken away, and how one woman fought to reclaim not just her image, but her voice. Linda Evangelista wasn't discovered sipping a milkshake at some small-town diner. There was no fairy tale moment. She hunted modeling like it was her life mission. Born in Ontario, Canada, to Italian immigrant parents, Linda had zero connections to the fashion world. But she had something more powerful: burning ambition. While other teenagers were hanging out at the mall, Linda was studying every page of Vogue magazine. She memorized poses, analyzed lighting, and studied the models like she was preparing for an exam. At just 16, she started entering local beauty contests, not because she loved tiaras, but because they offered modeling contracts as prizes. She saved every dollar from her early jobs. $8 an hour for bridal shoots, where she had to do her own makeup in the back of vans. Most agencies said no. Too short, too ethnic looking, too commercial. But Linda kept a list of every rejection, not to feel sorry for herself, but to fuel her determination. When elite models finally signed her, they sent her to Japan. But the fashion industry's dark side showed up quickly. Linda walked away from inappropriate situations that many models felt they had to endure. When she returned to the Western fashion scene, she was more determined than ever. But Paris wasn't ready for her either. The early 80 seconds fashion world wanted tall, blonde, and conventional. Linda was none of those things. So instead of trying to fit in, she decided to stand out. In 1988, Linda made a decision that nearly ended her career before it truly began. Frustrated with endless rejections and tired of trying to be someone else's idea of beautiful, she walked into a salon with a radical request: cut it all off. The hairdresser was shocked. Her agency was horrified. "You've ruined your career," they told her. Within 24 hours, 15 designers had canceled her bookings. But photographer Peter Lindbergh saw something different in Linda's dramatic new look. He shot her for Italian Vogue, capturing an intensity that was raw, defiant, and completely fresh. That single image changed everything. The short, boyish haircut that was supposed to end her career instead launched her into superstardom. Within months, the same designers who had dropped her were begging her to walk their shows. Other models rushed to salons asking for the Linda. She wasn't just another pretty face anymore. She was a shapeshifter who could transform herself completely while never losing her essence. Her partnership with photographer Steven Meisel became legendary. They didn't just create fashion photos, they created cultural moments. "Steven and I didn't need to talk," Linda later said. "We just looked at each other and knew." By 1990, Linda was commanding $25,000 per runway show and appearing on over 60 magazine covers in a single year. The early 90 seconds weren't just about fashion, they were about power. Linda, alongside Naomi Campbell, Cindy Crawford, Christy Turlington, and Claudia Schiffer, didn't just model clothes. They became global celebrities. These women were as famous as movie stars and rock legends. They appeared in music videos, starred in commercials, and walked red carpets as guests, not just hired help. "We were like rock stars," Naomi Campbell later said, but Linda was our Mick Jagger. What made Linda special wasn't just her bone structure, it was her incredible range. One day she was the cool, untouchable Chanel muse. The next, she was a smoldering Versace goddess. She could completely reinvent herself, while somehow always remaining recognizably Linda. Her appearance in George Michael's Freedom 90 music video wasn't just a cameo, it was a statement. She lip-synced the words with such power and defiance that it felt like a manifesto about female empowerment. At her peak, Linda's face was everywhere. Times Square billboards, perfume campaigns, movie cameos. She had become part of the cultural landscape. But beneath all the glamour, Linda began questioning what came next. I remember looking in the mirror at a fitting and wondering, is this it? Is this all I am? A body to hang clothes on? That question would soon become prophetic. In the early 2000 seconds, fashion began changing. Actresses started appearing on magazine covers instead of models. Social media was beginning to democratize beauty. The age of the supermodel was ending. While others fought to stay relevant, Linda made a different choice. She quietly stepped back from the spotlight. I'd had my time, she later explained. I didn't want to be the woman desperately chasing what was already gone. Fans assumed she was enjoying a well-deserved retirement, maybe focusing on motherhood, but the truth was much darker. In 2015, Linda underwent cool sculpting, a cosmetic procedure marketed as safe, non-invasive fat reduction. It was supposed to be routine, simple, effective. Instead, her body developed paradoxical adipose hyperplasia, or PAH, a rare condition where fat cells harden and grow instead of disappearing. The treatment that promised to enhance her appearance left her permanently disfigured. I looked in the mirror and didn't recognize myself, she later revealed. Ashamed and traumatized, Linda became a recluse. She canceled all work, declined invitations, and avoided mirrors. For 5 years, she lived in complete isolation. I couldn't face the idea of someone seeing me and thinking, what happened to her? She admitted. The fashion industry that had once worshipped her beauty went completely silent the moment it changed. No designer called to check on her, no magazine editor reached out. She realized the painful truth. I'd only ever mattered because of how I looked. The lowest point came when her son looked at her and asked, "Mom, do you remember when you used to laugh?" In 2021, after 6 years of silence, Linda returned with a $50 million lawsuit against Cool Sculpting's makers. Her Instagram post shocked the fashion world. I have been left unrecognizably disfigured. I've become a recluse. This isn't about money, she said. This is about forcing an industry that profits from women's insecurities to be honest about the risks. Her story exploded across media, making people question the entire cosmetic enhancement industry. If this could happen to Linda Evangelista, what chance did anyone else have? In 2022, she appeared on British Vogue's cover, not hiding her changed appearance but embracing it. Her jawline was taped, her neck covered with scarves, but her gaze remained powerful. I'm not competing with what I used to look like, she said. I'm trying to love myself as I am.
My second cancer I found on my own, and I insisted I wanted imaging.
And were you told, because you had already had a double mastectomy at that point, were told you're probably in the clear, it should be okay?
Correct. And I said, but can we just do imaging?
And so you did, and then they found...
I wanted imaging, and I went that day.
And you found something.
It came back in my pec muscle, my pectoral muscle, and invasive. And what we need to remember is if you find something, the earlier you find it, the better. I just think everyone should test because it can save your life.
Fendi cast her alongside Kate Moss for their campaign. Even while battling breast cancer for the second time, with friend Christy Turlington by her side, Linda refused to hide. Today, Linda's legacy goes beyond beauty. She's become a witness to its cost. I'm not just a cautionary tale, she says. I'm a woman who survived what our culture does to women who change. In 2023, she released a book with Stephen Meisel, writing her own captions for the first time. For years, other people wrote the captions to my life. Now I'm writing my own. Her story has inspired others to speak openly about beauty standards and aging. Linda's greatest transformation wasn't physical, it was personal. She evolved from a silent muse to an outspoken survivor. I used to become whatever the camera needed, she reflected, but my greatest transformation was becoming myself. Flawed, changed, but finally real. The supermodel who disappeared has returned not as a perfect image, but as a real woman whose truth has made her more influential than ever. It's 1991. A hauntingly beautiful woman rolls around on a beach in black and white. The music is Chris Isaak's Wicked Game. The woman, Helena Christensen. That video made her a global icon overnight. But here's the shocking part. At the height of her fame, she vanished. No scandal, no drama, just gone. What happened to one of the world's most famous supermodels? The truth is darker than anyone imagined. Helena Christensen wasn't supposed to be a supermodel. Born on Christmas Day, 1,968 inches, Copenhagen, Denmark, she had Peruvian and Danish parents. This mix gave her something special, piercing green eyes and exotic features that would later captivate the world. As a teenager, Helena wanted to be a musician. She played piano and sang. Modeling, not even on her radar, but life had other plans. At just 17, she entered Miss Denmark on a whim. She won. Suddenly, this quiet girl from Copenhagen was representing her country at Miss Universe. She didn't win the crown, but something better happened. Modeling agencies noticed her. By the late 1,980 seconds, Helena had moved to Paris and signed with a top modeling agency. The fashion world was about to change forever, and she was going to be right in the middle of it. The 1,990 seconds weren't just another decade in fashion. They created something never seen before, supermodels. These weren't just pretty faces. They were superstars who earned millions and had their own fame. Helena joined an exclusive group called the Magnificent Seven. Alongside Cindy Crawford, Naomi Campbell, and Linda Evangelista, she ruled the fashion world. They didn't just model clothes, they sold dreams. What made Helena different? While others were loud and flashy, she was mysterious. Her runway walk wasn't aggressive, it was confident and effortless, like she was just casually strolling by. Photographers loved her because she could tell a story with just one look. She worked with every major brand, Chanel, Versace, Prada. Her face was on magazine covers worldwide. But it was one job that changed everything. In 1991, photographer Herb Ritz had an idea. He wanted Helena for a music video with singer Chris Isaak. The song was Wicked Game, a haunting ballad about forbidden love. The video was simple but powerful. Black and white footage of Helena and Chris on a beach, embracing, touching, lost in each other. It was sensual without being cheap, artistic without being pretentious. When it aired, the world stopped. This wasn't just a music video, it was art. Helena wasn't just modeling, she was acting, feeling, being real. The chemistry between her and Chris felt genuine. People couldn't look away. Overnight, Helena went from famous model to global icon. But with great fame came great pressure, and that pressure was about to take a dark turn. While the world saw glamour, Helena's life behind the scenes was complicated. The fashion industry in the 90 seconds was brutal. Models were expected to be perfect 24/7. One bad photo, 1 pound gained, one wrong move, and your career could be over. Helena began to feel the weight of constantly being watched. Every outfit was judged. Every relationship was tabloid material. Every aging sign was scrutinized. She started keeping parts of her life private, but the pressure kept building. Then came the relationships that would define and later haunt her. In the early 90 seconds, Helena began dating Michael Hutchence, the charismatic lead singer of the rock band INXS. Their romance started after she appeared in their music video for Disappear. Michael was everything the rock star fantasy promised. Talented, dangerous, magnetic. But he was also troubled. He struggled with depression, addiction, and the pressures of fame. Their relationship was intense, passionate, but ultimately unstable. They broke up, but stayed in touch. Helena moved on, but Michael's demons followed him. On the 22nd of November 1997, Michael Hutchence was found dead in his Sydney hotel room. He had taken his own life. Michael's death shattered Helena. While they were no longer together, she had loved him deeply. The man who had brought so much music and joy to the world was gone, destroyed by the same fame machine that had lifted them both up. Helena barely spoke about Michael's death publicly. She attended his funeral, grieved privately, and tried to continue working. But something fundamental had changed. The fun was gone from fashion. The glamour felt empty. The constant attention felt suffocating. She began to question everything. Was this life worth it? Was fame worth losing yourself? Was beauty worth the price of happiness? While other supermodels partied and embraced celebrity culture, Helena started pulling back. She turned down jobs. She avoided red carpets. She stopped giving interviews. People noticed, but no one understood why. By the late 1992, Helena was still working, but differently. She became more selective about projects. She started spending more time behind the camera as a photographer rather than in front of it. In 1999, she had a son, Mingus, with actor Norman Reedus. Becoming a mother shifted her priorities completely. She realized there were more important things than magazine covers. Helena didn't announce her retirement, she just gradually faded from the spotlight. Seasons passed without her on major runways. Magazine covers featured newer, younger faces. The fashion world moved on, as it always does. But Helena's absence felt different. Other models retired with fanfare or controversy. Helena just disappeared, like morning mist. People kept asking, where is she? What happened? Why did she leave when she was still so successful? While the world wondered, Helena was building a different life. She focused on photography, capturing real moments instead of staged perfection. She opened a boutique in New York, selling antiques and unique items from her travels. She got involved in environmental causes. Most importantly, she was raising her son away from the spotlight. She and Norman co-parented peacefully, keeping their child's life normal and private. Helena didn't completely disappear, she just disappeared from the fame game. She still did some modeling, but only projects that interested her. She gave rare interviews, but only about her photography or activism, never about her personal life or the past. For years, this worked. She seemed content, peaceful even. The woman who had once been on every magazine cover was now taking pictures for art galleries. The supermodel had become an artist. But the truth about her disappearance was more complex than anyone knew. In recent years, Helena has opened up slightly about those difficult times. She's spoken about the pressure, the loneliness, and yes, the grief over Michael's death. She's also revealed something darker, betrayal within her own career. During her peak years, someone she trusted was exploiting her image rights without her knowledge. Her face, her legacy was being sold for profit while she wasn't even aware of it. When she discovered this, it broke something inside her. It wasn't about the money, it was about being used. The industry she had given so much to had betrayed her trust. This revelation, combined with Michael's death and the general pressure of fame, finally pushed her to step back. She didn't disappear because she was weak. She disappeared because she was strong enough to choose herself over fame. Today, Helena Christensen is in her 52nds and more beautiful than ever. She's returned to modeling occasionally, but always on her terms. In 2017, she walked the Versace runway alongside her fellow 92nd supermodels, proving that true beauty doesn't age. She's become an environmental activist, using her platform to raise awareness about climate change. Her photography has been exhibited in galleries worldwide. She's written books and continues to inspire new generations. Most importantly, she's shown that disappearing isn't giving up. Sometimes it's the bravest thing you can do. She stepped away from a world that was consuming her and built a life that fulfilled her. Helena Christensen's story isn't just about fame and beauty. It's about survival, reinvention, and the courage to choose authenticity over attention. She didn't disappear because she couldn't handle fame. She disappeared because she was smart enough to know when fame wasn't worth the cost. She lost love, faced betrayal, and felt the crushing weight of constant scrutiny. But instead of breaking, she transformed. The supermodel who captured our hearts in Wicked Game taught us something more valuable than any fashion trend. Sometimes the most powerful thing you can do is walk away. Today, Helena proves that true icons aren't defined by how bright they burn, but by how gracefully they choose their own path. She didn't just survive the supermodel era, she transcended it. And perhaps that's the most beautiful thing of all.
Grew up poor. I had no money. My family was poor. There's things I wanted to do and couldn't. There's tons of things that I couldn't even mention. And
a dark one. Yeah. How old are you now?
27.
Anna Nicole Smith really did live the American dream, but her life was like a roller coaster. We watched as she struggled, and we rooted for her.
She rose from small-town poverty to become the face of glamour, marrying a billionaire and living the fantasy millions dreamed of. But behind the spotlight, Anna Nicole Smith's world took her to court battles, addiction, and devastating loss. By the time she was just 39, the woman once considered as the next Marilyn Monroe had lost her son, her health, and her life, leaving behind a legacy of heartbreak and unanswered questions. This is the tragic story of Vicki Lynn Hogan, who became Anna Nicole Smith, only to lose everything that mattered most.
She was extraordinarily beautiful. She was reminiscent of Marilyn Monroe. She was a cocktail of a lot of interesting things.
She harkened back to a Jane Mansfield or a Marilyn Monroe, and she brought glamour to nude modeling.
She really played up her Texas roots in the 1993 Playboy centerfold video. Anna Nicole Smith, Playmate of the Year.
Born the 28th of November, 1967, in Houston, Texas, Vicki Lynn's early life was marked by poverty. Raised primarily by her mother, Virgie Tabers, Arthur in Mexia, Texas, she had 5 half-siblings on her father's side, but little contact with Donald Eugene Hogan. School proved challenging. She dropped out of Mexia High School in 1984 at 17 without completing 10th grade. Working at Jim's Crispy Fried Chicken, Vicki met cook Billy Wayne Smith. They married on the 4th of April, 1985. He was 16, she was 17. Their son, Daniel Wayne Smith, was born the 22nd of January, 1986. The teenage marriage crumbled quickly. They separated after a year, divorcing in 1993. As a single mother with limited options, Vicki turned to exotic dancing at Houston strip clubs. It was at one of these clubs in October 1991 that everything changed. 6-year-old petroleum tycoon J. Howard Marshall walked into her life. She later recalled,
I went over to see him, and he got a little twinkle in his eyes, and he asked me to dance for him.
I went over to see him, and he got a real twinkle in his eyes, and he asked me to dance for him. But first came the transformation. Vicki sent photographs to Hugh Hefner, landing a Playboy centerfold in May 1992. By 1993, she was Playmate of the Year. Guess Jeans hired her to replace Claudia Schiffer in their campaign, featuring sultry black and white photographs. During this campaign, she adopted the stage name Anna Nicole. Photographers noticed her striking resemblance to Jane Mansfield, creating several Mansfield-inspired photo sessions. The Guess campaign launched her into supermodel status. She modeled for H&M in 1993. Her image displayed on massive billboards across Sweden and Norway. Prestigious magazines followed Marie Claire in a Peter Lindbergh shoot in October 1993, GQ magazine, and later Heatherette in 2004. Anna Nicole expanded beyond modeling into acting with roles in Naked Gun 33 and 1/3, The Final Insult, and The Hudsucker Proxy. She had her own reality television series and endorsement deals, including becoming a spokeswoman for Trim Spa in October 2003, allegedly helping her lose 69 pounds. Meanwhile, her relationship with J. Howard Marshall deepened. On the 27th of June 1994, they married in Houston. The 63-year age gap sparked immediate speculation that she married him for money, accusations Anna Nicole denied. The marriage was brief. Marshall died the 4th of August 1995, just 13 months later at age 90. Despite not being in Marshall's will, Anna Nicole claimed he had verbally promised her half his estate, primarily a 16% interest in Koch Industries worth $1.6 billion. Pierce Marshall, his son, disputed the claim, triggering a legal nightmare that would consume decades. In 1996, Anna Nicole filed for bankruptcy following an $850,000 default judgment for sexually harassing a nanny. This pulled the Marshall estate dispute into federal court. The legal roller coaster began. September 2000 saw a Los Angeles bankruptcy judge award her $449,754,134. July 2001 brought a Houston judge ruling she got nothing and must pay over $1 million in legal costs. March 2002 reduced the award to $88 million. December 2004 saw the Ninth Circuit Court reverse that decision. September 2005 brought Supreme Court involvement. On the 1st of May 2006, the Supreme Court unanimously decided in Anna Nicole's favor, with Justice Ruth Bader Ginsburg writing the opinion. However, this only affirmed her right to pursue the estate in federal court, not actual money. Behind the legal victories, Anna Nicole struggled with serious health issues. Larry Burkhead later revealed she suffered chronic back pain from breast enhancement surgery and seizures. She began taking prescription drugs for pain management, eventually self-medicating with dangerous combinations. When pregnant in 2006, she attempted rehab cold turkey, but lasted only 1 week. The people closest to her became central to her destruction. Howard K. Stern, claiming to be her romantic partner and attorney, managed her medications. Dr. Christine Eroshevich and Dr. Sandeep Kapoor, internist, prescribed numerous medications despite her obvious addiction. The 7th of September 2006 brought joy, the birth of daughter Danielyn Hope in New Providence, the Bahamas. 3 days later came devastation. Daniel Wayne Smith, 20 years old, died in his mother's hospital room while visiting. An autopsy revealed death from a combination of drugs, including methadone and antidepressants. Anna and Daniel were inseparable. Daniel was without question the most important person in Anna's life, Stern testified. At Daniel's funeral, she had them open the coffin and tried to climb inside. She said that if Daniel has to be buried, I want to be buried with him. She was ready to go down with him. Stern later reflected, Anna saw herself as both mother and father to Daniel. From the time I met her, everything was for Daniel. I would say that physically, she died last week, but in a lot of ways, emotionally, she died when Daniel died. Daniel's death triggered Anna Nicole's final spiral. She retreated to the Bahamas with Stern, reportedly to avoid paternity testing. Immigration Minister Shane Gibson granted her permanent residency, but scandal erupted when photos showed Anna Nicole in bed with Gibson, forcing his resignation. Multiple men claimed to be Danielyn's father. Larry Burkhead filed paternity lawsuits, Howard K. Stern claimed fatherhood on CNN's Larry King Live. Even Zsa Zsa Gabor's husband, Frederick Prinz von Anhalt, and former bodyguard Alexander Denk made claims. February 2007 found Anna Nicole at the Seminole Hard Rock Hotel and Casino in Hollywood, Florida. Witnesses said she seemed a little woozy upon check-in, being held up by Howard. She remained secluded with flu-like symptoms and fever. Hotel attempts to provide medical care were refused. Warning signs mounted. She was found sitting naked and confused in a dry bathtub. On the 8th of February, she complained of fatigue to Stern. At 1 p.m., private nurse Tasma Breithaupt found her unresponsive. Despite CPR attempts, Anna Nicole was pronounced dead at Memorial Regional Hospital at 2:49 p.m.
Well, there's breaking news now on Fox News Channel. Fox News has just confirmed that Anna Nicole Smith has died. It was 2 o'clock this afternoon when authorities say they found her in her hotel room at the Hard Rock Hotel and Casino in Hollywood, Florida, very near the Dade and Broward County lines. She was rushed almost immediately to a medical center in Hollywood, Florida, at which point there were great concerns about her condition. She was born Vicki Lynn Hogan in Houston, Texas on November the 27th of 1968. She was married and more recently has had a child. She had a little girl just a few months ago at a hospital in the Bahamas. Her older son came to visit her, and while he was there, he died, and varying accounts of how that happened, and there are lawsuits that have been filed and an investigation underway.
Broward County Medical Examiner Joshua Perper ruled combined drug intoxication with chloral hydrate as the major component. 9 prescription drugs were in her system, 8 prescribed to Howard K. Stern, not Anna Nicole. Prescriptions were also written for Alex Katz, a false name, and Dr. Eroshevich. Abscesses on her buttocks from vitamin B12 and human growth hormone injections had become infected, contributing to her death. The criminal investigation led to the March 2009 arrests of Stern, Eroshevich, and Kapoor. Former nannies testified they witnessed Stern and Eroshevich crush up and heat some of those drugs in order to turn them into liquid and inject Smith. One nanny, Kwethly Alexi, said medications left Anna Nicole unable to walk and unable to handle her talking. October 2010 convictions were largely overturned months later when a Los Angeles judge dismissed most charges, ruling insufficient evidence of intentional fraud. The estate battle's final chapter came in June 2011, Stern v. Marshall. The Supreme Court ruled against Anna Nicole's estate, stating the $475 million California bankruptcy court decision lacked proper jurisdiction. August 2014 brought the final rejection of $44 million in claims. April 2007 DNA test confirmed Larry Burkhead as Danny Lynn's father. Today, Danny Lynn lives with Burkhead, attending the Kentucky Derby annually where her parents first met. Burkhead reflects, "She inspired a lot of people. I think she changed a lot of lives." That's why I think to this day, there's still a fascination about Anna Nicole, and I think there will be for a long time. Burkhead said, "You've got to think, my daughter was born on the 7th of September, and on the 10th of September, Daniel died. So you go from that extreme, high and low, and how do you process that in your mind?" Although her death certificate will list a different cause, an accidental overdose in my mind, I think she truly died of a broken heart. From Vicki Lynn Hogan to Anna Nicole Smith, the transformation brought fame and fortune but cost her son, her health, and her life. The supermodel who seemed to have everything lost what mattered most.
Hey friend, welcome to my channel Karina Lude, where we deep dive and break down the most iconic stars in history. If you're not yet subscribed, please be sure to do so and turn your notifications on so you never miss an upload. Now let's get into this video. Today we're finally doing Janice Dickinson. I know you guys have been requesting her for a very long time, especially for my supermodel playlist. Check out my supermodel playlist where we broke down several other supermodels. Many people have their own feelings about Janice, okay? Not too many people like Miss Janice Dickinson, okay? She's a lot. She can be a lot, but she is an interesting character.
This is the story of a girl who was told she'd never be beautiful and became the world's first supermodel. February 16th, 1955, Brooklyn, New York. A girl named Janice Doreen Dickinson is born into violence. Her father, Ray Dickinson, beats her daily, calls her worthless, ugly, says she'll never amount to anything. By age 8, she's watching him sexually abuse her sister. By 11, she's planning escape routes. By 15, modeling seems like the only door out of hell. Fast forward to November 18th, 2014. Janice Dickinson sits across from Entertainment Tonight. She's about to break 32 years of silence, about to say the name that will destroy what's left of her career. The fallout is instant. Death threats, lawsuits. The fashion world that once worshipped her turns away completely. But here's what nobody understood. Staying silent was already killing her. Let's go back. 1972. Janice wins Miss High Fashion Model Contest. The prize includes a trip to Paris. She's 17, ready to conquer fashion. First stop, Ford Models. Eileen. Ford takes one look. Too ethnic. Those lips. We can't work with those. She actually used a racial slur about Janice's lips. The most powerful woman in modeling just told her she's too ugly to work. Janice's response: "Fuck you, lady. Walk out." First authority figure she'd ever stood up to.
And I stayed there 3 months, going after appointment after appointment after appointment, doors slamming in my face. No one wanted to take my picture. No one wanted to give me work. So I was trying to imitate all these models in the magazines with these sultry, passionate looks on their face, selling, let's say, lipstick or perfume, looking very deep, dark, and mysterious. Like that. I thought to myself, Christ blood, that's not me. I'm too hypertense, hyperactive.
Wilhelmina Cooper sees something different. Send her to Paris immediately. John Casablancas at Elite wants her. European photographers lose their minds. Dark features, aggressive energy, sexual power, everything American fashion feared. Within months, she's on every European magazine cover. Vogue Paris, Elle, Marie Claire. The girl Ford rejected is suddenly fashion's hottest commodity. Returned to New York. The same agencies are now begging. Her rate, $2,000 a day in 1978, when top models made $500. Here's what made Janice different. She wasn't just wearing clothes, she was revolutionizing the movement itself.
Her body and face have sold oceans of perfume and miles of lace.
Watch your neck, Janice. Just gotta get a position where it doesn't do that. There you go. Good.
Dickinson will pose in skimpy lingerie. It's twice the money. She's a realist about modeling and plays it for what it's worth. For her, that's close to $250,000 a year.
Hang on.
That iconic hand-on-hip pose every model does, Janice invented it. The fierce facial expressions, her creation, aggressive sexuality, all Janice. Before her models were mannequins. Stand still, it looks pleasant. Don't have opinions. Janice brought personality, danger, actual human emotion. Her manager says, "You need to slow down. You're not Superman." "I'm not Superman." Janice replies, "I'm a supermodel." She just invented the term. About herself, the media mocks her for years. Now every model wants the title she created. But what did supermodel mean to Janice? Not just beauty, power, setting your own rates, choosing your photographers, controlling your image. She fought for everything, negotiated like a CEO, walked away from bad deals. Models didn't do that in the 70s. They showed up, shut up, got paid what they were given. 37 Vogue covers. Not American Vogue. They never fully accepted her. International editions couldn't get enough. Italy, France, Britain, Germany. Every country except her own. Cosmopolitan made her their signature face. 5 covers. Francesco Scavulo, who shot them, called her the ultimate Cosmo girl. Versace, Valentino, Calvin Klein. They all wanted the girl Eileen Ford said would never work. The party scene was insane. Studio 54 wasn't just a nightclub, it was a pharmacy with a dance floor. Cocaine served like cocktails, Quaaludes handed out like mints. Janice dove in head first. Warren Beatty, Mick Jagger, Sylvester Stallone, Jack Nicholson. The conquests were public, messy, legendary. I was self-medicating, she'd admit decades later. Childhood trauma doesn't disappear with success. 3 marriages, all disasters. Ron Levy, divorced. Simon Fields had her son, Nathan, divorced. Alan Gersten locked her in a closet, held a gun to her head demanding to know everyone she'd slept with. She started listing celebrities just to survive. Divorced. Money vanished fast. Millions earned. Nothing saved. Cocaine isn't cheap, neither is champagne or plastic surgery. The surgery started at 32. Dating Stallone. Noticed her first wrinkle. Panicked. Facelift. Then another. Breast augmentation. Tummy tuck. Trying to freeze time. Everything about me is fake, and I'm perfect. She'd titled her second book. At least she owned it. Modeling career transitioning, television beckoning. Bill Cosby calls personally, "I want to mentor you, help your acting career. America's Dad offering guidance. Who says no to that?" Lake Tahoe, his hotel room, private meeting about her future. Wine appears, a blue pill offered. "This will help you relax for the camera," he says. Next thing she remembers, pain. Weight on top of her, can't move her arms. I can't speak, paralyzed. Cosby raping her while she's conscious but helpless. Morning comes. He acts normal, casual, sends her away with his agent like nothing happened. She tells her manager immediately. His response? "Forget it happened. Cosby owns this town. He'll destroy you." She tries telling others. Same response. "You're a wild party girl. He's America's Dad." Who'll they believe? So she stays quiet, mostly. Writing her autobiography, No Lifeguard on Duty, she includes the Cosby assault, full chapter, every detail. HarperCollins lawyers read it. Panic. Remove this immediately. He'll sue us into bankruptcy. You have no proof. The book publishes. Truth deleted. Cosby's lawyers win without lifting a finger. Meanwhile, her career morphs. Reality TV explodes. Janice becomes fashion's Simon Cowell on America's Next Top Model. 4 seasons. Brutal honesty is her trademark. Makes contestants cry. Fights with Tyra Banks, especially about plus-size models. Tyra fires her, replaces her with Twiggy. Too harsh, they said. Translation, too honest. More reality shows follow. The Surreal Life fights Omarosa. Celebrity Rehab admits addiction. I'm a celebrity, eats bugs for money. The public sees Crazy Janice, drama, chaos, desperation. What they don't see, a rape survivor self-medicating. A woman carrying trauma nobody will let her discuss. Breast cancer diagnosis. She fights publicly, beats it, barely. Finally gets sober. 30 years of numbing ending. The pain underneath is excruciating. Still, nobody knows about Cosby. That secret is eating her alive. October 2014, comedian Hannibal Buress calls Cosby a rapist during a stand-up routine. Goes viral. Women start coming forward. Andrea Constant, Beth Ferrier, Barbara Bowman. The dam is breaking. Janice watches from home. These women tell her story. Her exact story. November 18th, 2014. She can't stay silent anymore. Books Entertainment Tonight interview. Tell everything. The wine, the blue pill, the paralysis, the rape, the cover-up. Names Cosby directly. Within hours, Cosby's lawyers attack. Defamation lawsuit filed, calling her a liar, an extortionist. Death threats flood in. You're destroying an innocent man. Gold-digging whore. Attention-seeking has-been. Fashion industry friends vanish. Bookings cancelled. She's radioactive. Again. But this time, she's not alone. More women emerge. 20, 30, 50. Eventually over 60 women with identical stories. Janice gives depositions. Under oath. Every detail is consistent. Lawyers attack her credibility. Drug addict, alcoholic, multiple failed marriages, mental health issues, plastic surgery addict. Using her honesty against her. Every flaw she'd admitted publicly now a weapon. She doesn't back down. Can't back down. Truth is truth. Legal bills mount. Hundreds of thousands. Work opportunities disappear. Friends ghost her. But something's shifting. Public opinion is changing. Hashtag #MeToo movement building. April 26, 2018. Bill Cosby convicted. 3 counts aggravated indecent assault. 3 to 10 years prison. Janice at the courthouse, crying, not celebrating, just exhausted. 36 years since the assault, 32 years of silence, 4 years of public torture. I almost died keeping this secret, she tells reporters. June 30th, 2021. Pennsylvania Supreme Court overturns conviction. Technicality. Cosby walks free. Janice speaks out again. He's guilty. Everyone knows it. The system failed. She won't stop talking. Truth matters more than comfort. Dated famous men, Stallone, Beatty, Jagger. Everyone knew she wasn't hiding. Wrote 4 books, started companies, made jewelry, built an agency, survived an awful childhood. Dad hit her, sister got abused, mom did nothing. Got plastic surgery, admitted it. Had an addiction, went to rehab publicly, bad marriages, told everyone. She told every secret, except Cosby. He was too powerful, could ruin her, and he almost did. Fashion acts like Janice never existed. No documentaries, no credit, nothing. Married a doctor at 61, finally found peace. Still working at 70, fashion left her behind. Forgot what she did, erased her story. Janice showed that pretty women get hurt too. Powerful men do bad things, business protects them. She talked when no one listened, fought alone, survived when they wanted her gone. First supermodel? Yes. First to survive telling hard truths? Absolutely. Every model who speaks up today follows her path. Every survivor uses her courage. She didn't just wear clothes, she showed what truth costs in a lying business. Cosby hurt her one night. The cover-up lasted 30 years, but she got her story back. That's the real revolution. Did fashion erase Janice on purpose? Does she deserve credit? Tell Elite Heaven below. Subscribe for more hidden fashion truths.
Cry. This was my return to modeling after 10 years of an illness in which I recovered from late-stage Lyme and severe black mold poisoning, and so I was not working for a close
$2 million yearly. That was Shalom Harlow's rate in 1999. Karl Lagerfeld wouldn't let anyone else close his shows. Versace called her irreplaceable. Then one morning, in 2013, she woke up in her Big Sur mansion. Couldn't move. Not tired, not hungover. Her body was shutting down completely. For 8 years, nobody saw Shalom Harlow. The fashion world assumed she'd retired, maybe had kids, started a business. The truth was darker. Late-stage Lyme disease, black mold poisoning from her own home. The woman who revolutionized runways couldn't get out of bed for nearly a decade. December 5th, 1973. Hippie commune outside Toronto. Parents named their daughter Shalom, peace in Hebrew. Because hippies. No fashion magazines. No runway dreams. Young Shalom wanted to be an astronaut. Space exploration, not catwalks. Ballet classes came first. She quit. Too many rules. Switched to tap dancing. I love the noise, she'd say later. The girl who chose noise over perfection. Remember that. The Cure concert in Toronto. Shalom's 17th scout approaches her. Ever considered modeling? 4 years later, she's closing Versace shows. No training, no preparation, just something Gianni saw that others missed. By 1995, she won VH1/Vogue Model of the Year. First ever, the hippie kid dreaming of space was suddenly fashion's new obsession. Her friendship with Amber Valletta changed everything. Shalom Bear, they called themselves. Silly name. Real friendship. While other models competed backstage, these two supported each other. Photographers booked them together. MTV handed them House of Style. Two women actually being friends in fashion? Revolutionary. March 1999. Alexander McQueen calls. His spring show needs something special. Shalom catches red-eye from New York, lands morning off. What's happening? She asks. Trust me, McQueen says. No rehearsal. The show starts. Platform rises, Shalom in white. Two industrial robots beside her.
Up. What happens next is pure magic. These mechanical arms start spraying black and yellow paint at her. And Shalom, remember the tap dancer who loved making noise? She doesn't just stand there. She moves. She sways. She raises her arms like she's defending herself, like she's dancing with these machines. The paint is...
Black and yellow paint shoots from mechanical arms. Shalom doesn't freeze. She moves, spins, creates. The tap dancer is making noise again. But with robots as partners, the audience erupts. Standing ovation. Fashion history without a single practice run. That moment still gets studied in design schools worldwide. The 2000s brought constant work. Versace campaigns, Chanel shows, banking millions, living between New York and Europe. Fashion insiders called her the thinking woman's model. She read books, had opinions, cared about things beyond sample sizes. Alexander Wang's fall show. Shalom takes the final bow. Walk backstage, then vanishes. No Instagram posts, no paparazzi shots, nothing. One day she's there. The next day was gone. Complete disappearance. Fashion forums buzzed. Where's Shalom? Did she retire? Is she okay? The truth was worse than anyone imagined. Her Big Sur house was poisoning her. Black mold in the walls, spreading through ventilation. Every breath is toxic. Simultaneously, late-stage Lyme disease destroyed her nervous system. Doctors dismissed symptoms. Stress, they said. Depression. Meanwhile, her body was failing completely. 8 years. Not weeks, not months, years of this. Bedridden. The woman who danced with McQueen's robots couldn't walk to her kitchen. She developed complex PTSD, the kind soldiers get from combat. Because this was a war. Her body is the battlefield. Friends called initially, "How are you?" What's the answer? Still dying slowly? The repetition exhausted her. Fashion moved forward. Kendall Jenner rose. Gigi Hadid emerged. New faces, new era. Shalom Harlow became a Wikipedia entry. A remember when conversation. Her Big Sur house. Bought with modeling money. Supposed sanctuary. Killing her daily. The irony was brutal. Success had literally made her sick. Every achievement led to this prison. No treatments worked. Doctors had no answers. Hope followed by disappointment. Days became months. Months became years. September 2018, Milan Fashion Week. Versace Spring 2019 show. Donatella's keeping secrets backstage. Models prep. Music starts. Standard Versace energy. Finale approaches. Lights shift. One model emerges. Shalom Harlow, 44 years old. 6 years absent. Walking like those years never happened, like she never left. The audience loses it. Editors crying. Real tears, not fashion dramatics. Everyone understands this moment's weight. She hadn't just returned. She'd survived something that should have ended her. Versace films her backstage, dancing, spinning, laughing in her dress. They post it immediately. Viral within hours. But watching knowing her battle, that's not celebration. That's resurrection. The same energy that chose tap over ballet kept her alive when her body tried quitting. 2019 brought selective returns. Not chasing relevance, not desperate for bookings. Each appearance is calculated. Each job is chosen carefully. Her body is healing but fragile. The industry that forgot her suddenly remembered why she'd mattered. Vogue cover. Not retrospective, not nostalgia. Current issue honoring Lagerfeld. 50 years old, among models born after her career started. Still booking covers. Working in a healthy body near my 5th decade. That's my career highlight. Not money, not fame, just health. Young models study her videos. That walk, that presence. Design students write papers about the McQueen moment. They don't know about the 8 dark years. The isolation. The friends who disappeared when she couldn't perform anymore. Shalomba still exists. 30 years later, Amber never left. Through success, through sickness, through everything. They shoot covers together, looking at each other like those kids with their silly nicknames. That's real. Everything else is just noise. The astronaut dream died. But Shalom found something else. Proof that survival itself is art. That showing up after everyone counted you out is the ultimate runway moment. The girl from the commune who loved making noise learned something. Sometimes silence is where you find strength. Fashion loves comeback stories, models returning after babies, after rehab, after divorce. But returning from 8 years of invisible illness, from PTSD, from your own home trying to kill you, that's not a comeback, that's resurrection. She works now on her terms, no desperation, no proving anything. When she walks, photographers lower cameras, just watching. When she appears, rooms shift, not nostalgia. Everyone recognizes a warrior. The tap dancer who chose noise over rules turned that philosophy into survival. Disease strips everything away. Career, identity, basic function. You learn what matters, not magazines, not validation, just tomorrow, just breathing. Shalom's story isn't about fashion. It's about fighting battles nobody sees. The woman who made history with robots made greater history by surviving. Some models become icons, other legends. Shalom became proof. Proof that elegance isn't perfection. It's endurance. Real beauty comes from surviving what should have destroyed you. Making noise matters more than following rules. Her illness took everything. Career, health, identity. 8 years stolen. She came back different, better, stronger, more real. The fashion world that forgot her now studies her every move. When Shalom works, it's an event, not hype. Genuine reverence. Young designers beg for her presence. Students analyze her walk. They're missing the point. It's about still walking at all. Today, Shalom chooses projects carefully. Show here. Campaign there. Not rebuilding empires, just living. Working. Breathing. Making it through is quite an accomplishment, she said. Centuries understatement. Her parents named her Peace. Couldn't predict this journey? Commune to catwalk, spotlight to darkness, death's edge to life. Maybe they knew. Peace isn't conflict absence, it's surviving storms. Shalom's elegance was never clothes. It was a movement, choice, rebellion, tap over ballet, honesty over perfection, survival over surrender. The supermodel fighting silently taught fashion its greatest lesson. Sometimes, elegance isn't what you wear or how you walk. It's refusing to disappear when everything tries erasing you. Shalom didn't just survive, she transcended everything. The girl wanting space found something better. Proof gravity can't hold you if you keep making noise. Did you know about Shalom's 8-year battle? Which supermodel comeback shocked you most? Let Elite Heaven know in the comments below and subscribe for more untold fashion truths. Told fashion. An 18-year-old model fell from a 20th floor balcony in Malaysia.
An 18 was found dead on the 6th floor of Cap Square residence on December 7, 2017.
Police called it suicide. A coroner called it an accident. But 8 years later, a judge ruled it was murder and condemned the investigation as a total failure and ordered the government to pay her family over $260,000 for botching the investigation. This is the story of Ivana Smith, the predators who targeted her, and the cover-up that nearly buried the truth. Ivana Esther Roberts Smith wasn't Malaysian by passport, but ask anyone who knew her, and they'd say she was Penangite through and through. Born in the Netherlands in 1999 to Dutch-Chinese Indonesian heritage, her life took a major turn before she even hit kindergarten. When she was just 3, little Ivana missed her grandparents so badly she literally stopped eating. Her parents, juggling hectic work schedules, made the desperate decision to put her on a plane to Penang, where her grandparents had just migrated. That's where she would spend most of her childhood, right by the beaches of Batu Ferringhi. Ivana lived the life of your overachieving, multi-talented Malaysian kid. She spoke fluent Mandarin, had a black belt in Taekwondo, played football, guitar, piano. By 13, she was already walking runways in Korea and Taiwan. Her grandpa said she collected 35 different certificates from all the courses she attended. At 15,